good with it in the hood with it? Welcome back to the Collective Clips, where you already know we get it in, right? But before we get it in, let's hit that like and subscribe button. Put your notification bell on also, that way you're directed in the direction of the dope content I'm kicking. And I highly appreciate all the support I'm getting on this channel, man. We're going up, and it's all because of you, and I'm humbled. Thank you. So Danny Masterson, right? So many different names these people are calling him, but is it justified? Even myself calling this guy that, I don't know him like that. Is it really justified? I like to have fun with it. But I really wanted to get down to the brass tacks of the situation, right? To really look at the information that's out there and see, is this guy quite possibly innocent? Have people been going in on him and targeting him and using him, utilizing him like just a rag doll? And this guy might be sitting there just biting his whole fingernails and his knuckles, and he might be an innocent man. You can't judge a book by its cover. We don't know nowadays. And a lot of people have brought some good discussion to the platform, man. A lot of people have asked me a lot of great questions, and I see that he has a good, nice size support group behind him, you know, supporting him, saying that these cases are 20 years ago, man. Women could say anything. Now, that's an absolute truth, man. There's no way or no rhyme or reason why we should be supporting people like Tupac, Kobe Bryant, and other individuals, but looking at this guy some type of way without really being fucking the cucaracha under the huarache, right? We're not in that same room, so we don't know. I don't know. You don't know. None of us were there. Now, according to what they said in his trial, there was a pattern of violence. There was a lot of suspicion. There was a lot of people saying that he'd done something to him, a lot of females, right? Now, usually, if you're accused once, maybe even twice, I could say, I call bullshit. I call bullshit, right? I call bullshit. Maybe, just maybe this man might be innocent, right? But at the same time, when you start paying people off, which he did, supposedly, allegedly, a $400,000 payment, it looks like you're guilty, right? That starts looking real. It starts smelling tuna-ish, right? It starts smelling like tuna tacos. It becomes a point where you're like, or comes to a point where you're like, I don't know, bro. If you weren't guilty, a real one just rides it out. You ain't getting nada. You're not getting $5, $2, $1, or a fake ass $3 bill. It ain't gonna happen. But in this guy's case, he did pay women off. There was some type of conspiracy to keep people quiet. Now, these police reports that did come out was these women back then, they were saying what they were saying, right? So it's not like they just came up, because a lot of people got at me and they were like, hey, this shit is from 20 something years ago, man. Now all of a sudden they want to say something. It's like, no, this isn't all of a sudden. Let's look at it for what it really is. They've been saying this. Now, whether they're what they were saying was suppressed by what he believed in. And let's get down to it. I've been trying to stray away from saying the word Scientology. But you have to say it when you fucking talk about Danny Masturbates, right? Because, excuse me, did I say Danny Master? Fuck it, we're just going to roll with that one today, right? Until he's on paper, he's guilty. So until he's proven innocent, he's going to be Masturbatorson. And that's just what the fuck it is, right here on this channel. So anyways, when I started looking into the case yesterday, I really sat down, really took the time to observe the case, do my due diligence and my homework. It was a fishy case all the way around. And I know he was part of what some people consider a cult or a religion or whatever spin you want to put on it. I give it the respect as a religion, you know, because I don't really know too much about it. But I know that he was a Scientologist, man. And a lot of people were saying that it was a cover-up. That there was a cover-up going on behind the scenes because he was an outstanding member, a generational member of this group in good standings, that he felt that he can get away with anything. He felt power. Now, I know a lot of these people in Hollywood and a lot of people that got money. With money comes power, respect and power, right? Almost to a point where a lot of people will start acting out of character and doing things they wouldn't necessarily do in society because they got the money to do it. Money will buy my backup. The polar bears are going to back my play, right? And in this case, because he was part of this religion, maybe, just maybe, he felt he can get away with a lot more than other people could. Now, of course, a lot of his co-stars from that 70s show, like Austin Kutcher and, of course, Mila Kunis, spoke up for him. They said he was a good dude, and they got some ridicule and some backlash for that, which they doubled back, but never denied that, you know, he was inspirational and a good person. But people are like that. They're two-faced. There could be people that on the outside, oh, they're that good person, man. They're that one. They're cool, man. They're inspirational, motivational. They're that. But behind the scenes, they're thuggish, ruggish like Bone, right? They're different. And in this guy's case, man, it could have been that, like I said, one or two accusers, and it's like, I don't know, right? But when it starts to get to 3, 4, 5, 6, and it shows a pattern of deviant behavior, that's what these sexual predators do. It's not a disease. It's not something that they can get rid of. It's what's instilled in them. And when you put a big religion behind them that people say was covering up, or basically telling the victims it was their fault, that they needed to go to classes to learn ethics, that they needed to go to classes to get their mind right, then that gives him power. And when you have power and Hollywood and money and the backing of your church, then you feel like you could do whatever you could do. Now, whether this guy is innocent or guilty, ultimately, we will never know. I don't see a whole bunch of women literally taking the stand and putting their reputations and their safety on the line on some bullshit, right? I don't see it. When it came to the Kobe Bryant case, that looked like a money-hungry woman just trying to get him caught up, okay? And I'm not saying that because I'm a Kobe fan. Let's take the Lakers and put them to the side for a minute, and let's just say there was something mighty fishy there. Now, of course, the report was that he did pay it off, and that looked mighty guilty. But people forgot about that because they loved the way he slam dunked, right? Now with Tupac, that's a whole different situation, and I've spoken on it in the past, because a lot of people want to know, why do you support Pac, or why do people still bump his music if he's a sexual deviant, if he was actually literally convicted on a case. He had an R on his jacket, a soft R, not a hard R, but he still had one. And all I can say with that is, if you really break down the case and look into it like many of us have, because I've done my homework on it because I'm a big Pac fan, and I was hurt, right? I looked into it. This guy was never accused of actually doing something to this woman, but only accused of not preventing his partners from doing it. Okay, at the end of the day, that's still not good, man. If you knew something was cracking off, you should have been the man and jumped in the Fruit Loop bowl, man, and cleared out all the milk. But he didn't do nothing like that, right? From what I know, man, again, this was a situation where a woman seen someone having money, seen someone having it their way, and decided that she was going to fucking speak up because he didn't want her. Hey, ain't nothing worse than a woman scorned, but that doesn't mean women can be easily victimized and played out of pocket, man, and utilized, because they are human beings and they have emotions and feelings, and you got to treat them with respect. You can't just respect other men and other gang members and other convicts and you got to respect everybody, and a woman is worthy of that respect. So I'm not saying these women are lying in any case. I'm just saying when it came to the Pac case, man, I believe she was lying. How about that one? Okay. And again, that's just my beliefs. I could choose to rock how I feel to rock. I mean, there's a lot of people that support SPM right now, even though he was charged 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8 different times. People alleged that he did things to him. Ultimately he did get convicted and got 40 years. And I believe, after about the 4th or 5th one, homie, damn, you got an issue and a problem, brother. Go ahead and sit down for a minute, right? I mean, that's just how I rock with that one. So every different case has its own different elements and details to it. And it's up to you as a person that supports these individuals to decide who you're going to rock with and who you're not going to rock with. Now, when it comes to Masterson, right, I think why he's so intriguing and his story is so questionable is because it happened such a long time ago. But if you really look into it like I did, there was a pattern of behavior here, okay? On the exterior, he was that model citizen, that nice guy, that church-going person who was just making money in Hollywood and gaining traction, where behind the scenes, he was one of those guys that was an asshole, that thought he could just fucking ridicule and disrespect women and utilize them for his own sexual pleasures and deviant behaviors. That ain't cool, right? Those are the type of individuals I don't like. I don't like because they treat women less than, they treat people less than, and they have this exterior and everybody loving and respecting them. And they're so inspirational. But behind the scenes, they're drugging, hurting, and choking women out. That ain't cool. So his day came in court. Okay, and the first time, this is what makes it a little fishy, is the first time he went to court, there was a hung jury. And that just means people couldn't decide. And it's very easy to get a hung jury. Just because you get a hung jury doesn't mean you're ultimately innocent. I have a homeboy that got a hung jury before, right? Guilty as sin. Bothell did that shit. They knew he did that shit, but they couldn't find the right people to testify against him. I've told the story in the past. The homeboy did a murder to which he is now sitting down. He's just getting out or just got out, right? He was convicted and got 40 years. The first time he went to trial, he got the hung jury because the jury couldn't decide whether it was self-defense or it wasn't. Now, in the state of California, there is no self-defense, but still, he was ran upon and got to bucking, got to smoking motherfuckers, right? So, and it's never a good thing to take a life. Absolutely not. But that's what he was involved in. Of course, he decided to go back and take it to the box, meaning he took it all the way again to trial. And what happened? They flipped someone on him, man, someone that was close to him that had the intimate details of the crime. And ultimately, he caught the 40 years to life. Now, since crime laws have changed in the state of California, that youthful offender law and a lot of other things, first-time offender laws changed, that helped him to get out, right? So I think he was just recently released or is just about to get released. And has he learned his lesson? I'm sure after 20-something years incarcerated, you know, he's a changed man. I've talked to him many a times, and I could tell you he's not the same person he was, and neither am I when he first caught his case. We're grown men now. You know, sometimes you change. Sometimes they don't. You know, it's just up to the person and if they have the ability to apply themselves and to have remorse and to understand that they made a mistake. You know, it's not always intentional when you do something. Sometimes it is a mistake. Sometimes you weren't laced a certain way, or you're not educated enough to understand exactly how the lives you're affecting or of the families and the people when it comes to a case. You're not thinking at that point. So I understand, man. I've been involved in situations where now I'm very remorseful, and I'm of an understanding that I fucked up. You know, when karma catches me, it does, and that's just it. So when it comes to Danny Masterson, you know, there's a lot of people that are taking a keen interest because they're concerned more so with his safety, or they just want to be entertained by what they think might happen to him. I've heard so many different stories, and I've been involved on putting content out there in so many stories. Now, of course, I did drop a video 2 days ago. I'm telling you the if, ands, buts, don'ts, whys, hows, wheres, the 5 W's of what he was going to be doing on that yard. Okay, but ultimately, I'm not on that yard, so I can't tell you how it's going to go for him. I can tell you it's going to be crimson and clover, and everything's going to be good. But more than likely in the California prison system, man, on a 4-yard, it's not. Doesn't matter if it's an active yard, non-active yard, SNY, PC, whatever fucking spin and label you want to put on it. You know, ultimately, it's a man in prison on a dangerous 4-yard, and there's dangerous individuals there that are willing to fucking deal with the guy just because he's a trophy. So I don't think Danny Masterson was thinking about all these things when he was dealing with these women. You know, is he guilty? Was it a cover-up? You know, from what I read, man, it seemed like there was a big entity behind him, and a lot of people that just didn't want to believe that he could be capable of doing the things he does. But it would fucking surprise you and shock you, the capabilities of a person you don't think can do it. It's always the one doing something that you don't think has it in them, or you don't think would do something like that. You know, it's just a situation where it's up for your own fucking interpretation. Now, when it comes to me, I'm a firm believer, once you're convicted, you're convicted. Unless I could read between the lines and see, nah, there ain't no way. And that's, of course, like the Tupac situation. And it's not because I like his music or he was a thug or a gangster. It had nothing to do with that. More so it had to do with the way this woman flipped and flopped in her story and the way she changed it so many times. Now, of course, one of these, for those of you that don't know, Masterson was convicted of 2 of these crimes. He was charged with 3. So they didn't believe one woman, obviously, and he went and got that hung jury. So he believed, and a lot of people believed, that he was innocent. Okay, the next time around, they testified. He was not willing to testify in his own honor. Now, I'm going to tell you something. Real talk, right off the top. If I'm ever charged with some type of weirdo crime, I'm going to the motherfucking fullest. I'm going to testify in my behalf. I'm going to scream to the jury, man, I'm innocent. I'm going to cry, I'm going to shout, I'm going to fight, I'm going to claw, I'm going to rip that motherfucker up because I know there's no way I'm going to fucking be able to look at myself and have that type of jacket in the penitentiary. It ain't going to happen, right? I've had homeboys that were charged with weird type of crimes, and they kept taking flight and going to the hole and refused to go to protective custody and rode that shit out and eventually got an appeal, man, and had to do more time because of all the people they beat up in prison on that journey there, right? And ultimately were fucking exonerated for the weird crime, and they're still in the hood functioning. So I know all about them types of situations because I've seen it from a distance. You know, you can't judge a man and make a man guilty just because you think he is. You know, hold the man accountable for the actions that he's displayed and the characteristics that he has going on. But you can't say he's guilty because Sosa says so. That's not the way it works. Right now with Danny Masterson, he does have the R on his jacket. He has been convicted. So in the eyes of people incarcerated and on them 4 yards, It don't matter if he's running around saying he's innocent and didn't do it. It's too late. In California, once you have a sexual deviant fucking crime on your jacket, they don't care. They don't want to hear it. What are you in here for? Rape. Bye-bye. That's it. Here, take this knife with you. Put it in your ass or I'll put it in there. That's just how it is. I know it's unfortunate that there's a lot of people probably sitting down that are innocent, having to go through the motions, having to fucking go through the situations that they're in. But hey, man, that's part of life. See, life is crazy. We don't think about it. You know, I'm sure he wasn't thinking about it when he was drugging these women and getting them drunk and getting rich and having it his way in mansions and going to the Scientologist church and praying and whatever he was doing in his life, man. Ultimately, he's now sitting in Corcoran prison, old Corcoran, not sad new Corcoran, but old Corcoran prison, one of the worst prisons in the state of California. Regardless if he's on a soft yard, a PC yard, or a hard yard, man, hey, he's got a hard R on a hard yard. Guarantee that. Because Corcoran is known, man, it has a great history, a vicious history, man, of people with bad behavior getting behaved bad on. Facts, right? So, what do you think? I had this chick go off on me yesterday. She got in my DMs and she told me a new asshole, right? So I was scared. If I was Wes Watson, I'd be pleasantly surprised and happy because now I could hoop more than just 4 cell phones at a time, right? This chick told me, you got to look into the case. You're making assumptions. You know, you're going to get this guy hurt. I'm not going to get him hurt. That hard ass R on his jacket is going to get him hurt. I'm just putting out there a little bit of comedy and giving it to you for reals, exactly how it is in the system and what could possibly and should not or should happen to him. You know, I don't know ultimately, but after really dissecting this case, this is what I got to say about it. You're guilty of sin, homie. Stop it. Stop it, right? One thing I've heard about the Scientologist church, man, is they're not the people to be played with. They are very elite and powerful, man, and they got a lot of people with a lot of money involved. Now, the intricate details into the rules and regulations of that place, I don't know, so I'm not going to speak ill on them. But I'm just going to say that there's a lot of people in powerful places with powerful money behind the scenes there, right? So I could possibly see some of the elders or some of the people of the church saying, hey, check this out. Let's not rock the boat because we don't want a tidal wave, right? Let's not steer this the wrong way. So I could see people basically covering up for him. Did it happen? I don't know. All I know is that they distanced themselves from him. He was excluded or exonerated from the church. He is no longer part of that. And I could understand them wanting to distance himself from someone that has that type of behavior on his jacket, man. Someone that is ultimately convicted. They still believe in his innocence, yet they're fucking distancing themselves. That should tell you something right there. As far as Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis behind the scenes giving him support as soon as he was convicted, they doubled back and did an interview and said, well, hold on now. We said he was a good guy. We didn't say he was always a good guy, right? And when it comes to his wife, she stuck with him strong every day, holding hands, going into court. And 10 days later, I'm out of here. She was gone, right? She filed for divorce. So, and it's like that. And it's unfortunate that it's like that. When you get locked up, I've said it a million times, your homeboys, your friends, your old lady, everyone's going to turn their back on you. Ain't no one going to rock or support you. Hey, Holmes, easy come, easy go. You know what I'm saying? We'll catch you on the rebound. They'll catch you on the rebound like a Brent Wood song. When you're not there, homie, you know what I'm saying? Time heals all wounds. You do the time, our wounds are healed. Vámonos. That's what it seems like in this situation. Everyone's turning their back on him. But you got a gaggle or a gang of people that support him. Why? I don't know, man. When it comes to any person being accused of doing sexual deviant behavior, I'm always going to take a step back and a look, right? And then when it comes to these women taking their lives in their hands, knowing that he has powerful friends and there's a lot of money in Hollywood behind him, to go on the stand and to continue this story without switching it up, I mean, that's the proof of the pudding right there for me. That says enough. And for this guy to refuse to take the stand in his own defense, man, you got to fucking, hey, if you're innocent, Holmes, and you didn't do something, this is serious. Okay, this is very serious. And if you're innocent and you didn't do a crime like this, then you scream it to the hills, man, to the top of the hill. You don't let people play you like Play-Doh in their hands. What are they, pimps and you're a hoe? That's not the way it goes. You fucking got to fight for your right to party. Like Travis Kelce said, you have to fight for your freedom. I've never understood why people won't testify in their own trial. You know, don't take the advice of your lawyer because he's a truck most of the time and only there to collect fucking the paper that he's getting for the process of elimination. Don't never fucking go out like that. Always fight for it. When people don't fight for themselves, Other people shouldn't fight for them. If you can't do nothing for yourself, then I can't do nothing for you. I learned that a long time ago. A real one, especially when faced with adversity and something like this that's going to have great bearings on your lifespan, you need to fucking go to the fullest. So I didn't understand why he didn't testify in his defense. Maybe because he was guilty. So for the people that are supporting him, the only basis that this chick had when she was yelling at me yesterday, damn near spitting through the phone, was that this individual, it was old cases, but it doesn't matter if it's old cases, new cases, suitcases, you know what I'm saying, weirdo cases. It's a case, man, and that shit right there is ugly in any timeline, in any era. Ultimately, he doesn't matter anymore. Until he gets this appeal and maybe he gets exonerated or they justify whatever, he's going to sit there on a prison yard and have to deal with the Zuzus and the Wham Whams and the Bang Bangs and the Bam Bams. And that's just what it is. Okay, and us as content creators, every content creator that has done a video on Danny Masterson, we're not doing it to belittle his fucking contributions of life. We're only telling you what could possibly happen. Now, I heard another rumor just yesterday that now the 2-5, for those of you that don't know who 2-5s are, they're a very old school, probably one of the first, what people would like to say, PC gangs. I don't consider them a PC gang. I just consider them a group, right? A STG group, a security threat group that was started in the state of California many, many moons ago, right? Decades ago, because they were fighting the oppression of a certain organization. And whatever their rules and regulations are, like I said, I can't tell you the details, and I wouldn't tell you the details because it's none of my bizwax, right? But I will tell you this. I heard now that not only the GBGs, which are the gay boy gangsters, but now that the 2-5ers have taken an interest in Danny Masterson and that they are looking to get in his drawers, right? I could tell you right now, that group right there are known to not try to function on yards with sex offenders and are the ones that will clean up the trash. That's facts, right? I'm neither fucking giving them their flowers nor raining on their parade, but I will say that, the 2-5ers are deep in a lot of the fucking prisons. And, they don't play when it comes to the sexual offenders. So I could see there possibly being a wreck. As far as them actually hunting or looking for this guy, I don't know that to be true. I haven't heard that. Like I said, I got at someone who's right there with him. And he told me, the dude is all right. He's fine. He's just going to go to yard. It is what it is. I'm going to call him today and find out if he went to yard yesterday or he PC'd up in his cell. Anyways, man, so take a really good look at the case. Before you judge a book by its cover and automatically assume guilt on someone, this is the freedoms that you have to say whatever you want to say, especially as a content creator. We could talk about whatever we want to talk about. But really, if you don't do your homework, you shouldn't speak on it. I have done my homework. And I can tell you when it comes to me, myself, and I'm not trying to flip anyone's mind any otherwise. I'm telling you, go look at it for yourself. I believe this motherfucker is guilty as all sin. I believe he's a rapist. I believe that he's where he needs to be. And there's a lot of women safe because of that. And that's just it. Now, again, man, could he be innocent? That would blow my mind if he was. And I would definitely apologize to the fool, right? But at the same time, it doesn't look that way. Not to me. That just is what it is. Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think he's innocent, guilty as fuck, right? Or do you think it's just where someone else might have been culpable in some of these situations? They just threw him under the bus. I highly doubt it. But we'll see what you got to say. With that being said, I hope that you move smooth with a purpose. Enjoy your weekend. Get everything that you want coming. And remember, at the end of the day, it's all about the strive to struggle, the struggle to strive. If you've ever done anyone wrong in your life, man, be a man. Admit that, because that's a cold weight to carry on your shoulders, man. Repent. Show some remorse. That's the cool part about it. People do things to other people and still try to act bad about it. I did that. Nah, man, if you don't have no remorse, if you can't be a real man, face adversity, look at it in the eye and say, you know what, I was wrong, then you really ain't a real man. That's just it, man. Thumbs up or thumbs down. Heavy's going to be the head that wears the crown. I'm going to continue to strive, struggle, strive for what I honestly and truly believe in, and that's the betterment of all people, man. I'll send mine. Thank you. Bang, bang.